Okay, to get into user settings, go tools, users, and choose the user you're going to work on. And from here, any setting that has a dash BV behind it, that means that if you change the setting here, it also changes in Business Vision. Or if you change the setting in Business Vision, it also changes in here. In other words, it's just a place where we've put in most of Business Vision settings as well. But just so that you know that when you change it here, it also changes in Business Vision. If there's a check mark on it, it means it's turned on. So under the general section, we've got if the person's allowed to change warehouse, if they're allowed to switch divisions, if when they put a product code into an inventory item, that it actually is a valid product code. And if they put a salesperson onto an order or a customer, that needs to be valid if this is checked. And territory, same thing there, it has to be valid. This is as if the person is only allowed to go into point of sale. Next setting is if you want this particular user inactivated. So you don't want to delete them yet, but you want to inactivate them for a temporary period. What this setting is a salesperson can be selected here. This user will only see customers, sales orders, and sales history for customers that have that salesperson in the history. So the lists are completely filtered out so they only see their own. Whether they can lock Windows settings, so if there's under Tools, Windows settings and BVEssentials, whether they're allowed to turn that off and on. The default warehouse, what warehouse, when they log into the program, what warehouse will be used when creating inventory items or when creating a sales order. This setting is when you exit BVEssentials, it asks you, are you sure you wish to exit? If this is checked, it will then ask you that question. If it is not checked, it will just close the program without asking. And this settings is in conjunction with this Windows setting here, that if the person is allowed to clear their settings back to factory or back to the default of the program. This setting is identical to this setting in regards to limiting the person to be a salesperson, but this one limits them by territory. So you only see customers in that territory, sales orders in that territory, and sales history in that territory. This check mark here means that they are restricted on what reports they can see in BVEssentials. If this is unchecked, they can run every report that comes with the program or that you've added as a custom report. If you check this off, you need to immediately go down to this icon down here for reports to then select what reports they can print, because as soon as it's checked, it takes away all reports from them. This setting is whether they're allowed to go into company setup of BVEssentials. This setting allows if they're allowed to add email merge templates for doing mail merges for customers, and whether they're restricted to a certain location. BVEssentials, in another video, there's a demonstration on how to use location accounting, similar to divisional, but it's for using segments within the GL, and it limits them to a certain location. And this one is whether they're allowed to get into this program for editing user setup.